Welcome off to the web.
And welcome everybody back to the Off the Rails podcast with Tone and Jems. This is episode 35 for the second time. You'll hear episode 35 for the first time later on this week. Jems was having some connectivity issues, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, hopefully that's sorted out. Well, I guess we'll find out here if we get like 10 minutes in and then everything starts skipping. But Tone and I just talked for like 15 minutes, so
yeah,
everything seemed fine.
Yeah, so everything sounded really good. And then you picked up a new to you computer, so hopefully that'll speed you up too. So
I'm hoping that gives me motivation to finish cleaning the basement so I can set that up, because that's obviously not a laptop. Like the laptop sits in the same spot because I want it plugged in and there's only like 4 outlets down here.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I got to figure out where I want to set that.
That's all. Would you sit it in a different spot, you think, or?
Yeah, I want to change something up. I have it sitting on a desk like right on the outside of the wall here.
Yeah.
The studded wall. And I might leave it there and then turn the desk around. I don't know, because right now the background for that is the sliding glass door. So I'm not sure if that would
it might give you
issues.
It might give you a glare or something like that.
That's what I'm thinking. Like if we record during daylight hours, it's probably fine. But if we are recording like now, it's probably you'd be like Inception. You just see my back.
Yeah. It'd be like
so I might put the desk around and then hang something. I should just get some drywall, but that's a lot of work to carry it down here right now.
I mean, or you could just get like a green sheet like we were just messing around with before we started, and you can green screen it and then be wherever you want.
That's probably what I should do.
Which I really am now that I'm looking at it. I do look like I am on a green screen.
It does.
I don't know why. Maybe it's the lighting, because I have lighting here and I have lighting here, and then
I think it looks like it's professionally arranged.
These lights up here are dimmed, like sort of, so you can't really fully see them. But dimming lights are weird, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cat.
Cat's still messing with the new computer. So.
There's a light bulb sitting next to it. I changed on my way down, and she's trying to bat it off But it's like it's a plastic light bulb.
Yeah. By the way, what is with plastic light bulbs? I just bought a bunch of light bulbs the other day.
I think it's something to do with the LEDs.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense because, like, I don't think they get super hot either.
No, because this one, the lights had been on, and I just took it right out, no problem.
Yeah. Did you ever burn yourself trying to change a light bulb?
Yeah,
no.
They're always hot. It seems like
not fun. Which makes no sense too, because it's like hard to change a light bulb when there's no light. So right. I always do mine in the dark for some stupid reason. Like I always think about it at night.
Yeah, because you don't turn the light on during the day to remind yourself.
Yeah, I mean some of the ones at my house I knew were out, so I just was a dumbass and wait too long.
We have these globe lights everywhere, so there's like 2 or 3 light bulbs in each one. Yeah. So sometimes you can tell when one's out, and then I'll forget about it. Like I think there's one out in Claire's room, but she's really good about reminding me.
That's awesome. Well, at least they remind you. I screwed up on this last one that I just did, and I got daytime lights, and it's super bright in the house. So I got to go back and get soft whites because I'm a fucking idiot.
I actually have one down here in the basement. It's like it's a garage light, but it's like thousands of lumens, which is fine. And it's like, it works well for this. And I put one in the garage. Taylor hates it because it looks like it's like noon every time she walks in there. It's super bright.
But that's what it should be though, right? I mean, like you should be able to have some light, you know?
I am somebody that likes light. Like I don't watch TV in the dark or movies in the dark unless I'm at a theater. Like if we're watching TV in the living room in the evening, I have all the lights on.
I mean, that's fair. I can see that. It makes the most sense. I mean, too, like especially like when you have an 85-inch TV, and then that's just like you have to have the lights on. I think.
Hey, I don't see why you wouldn't.
Because it's so bright, and that I'm basically talking about my 85-inch TV that is way damn too big. I definitely probably overestimated. And I mean, it looks good in the room, but like it puts off so much light when there's no other light.
Well, to be fair, if Taylor told me I could get an 85-inch TV, I would get an 85-inch TV. It's probably too big for our living room, but I would get an 85-inch TV. Actually,
Yeah.
Sunday I mounted our TV on the wall
Yeah.
and ran the wires behind the wall.
Yeah. That's
That was
awesome.
my Sunday project.
Heck yeah. I'm not that good at doing that kind of stuff. My TV is still sitting in the basement, not mounted, because
We were supposed to do that when I was there.
Yeah, you were gonna help, but then we had other things to do, and then I live in the house with teenage girls and a wife who apparently the TV is too heavy. So I think next time I'm gonna hold it up, and the girls are gonna brace the sides, and then my wife's gonna try to screw in the stuff because that seems like the most logical thing to do.
The way mine worked is I put the brackets on the back of the TV, like I mounted the thing on the wall, and it had 2 cross beams, and then the back of the TV kind of had some hooks, and so I just put that in the cross beams after it was mounted on the wall.
Yeah,
Or on the back of the TV, hooked it there, and then it had 2 flip up hooks or 2 flip up like latches.
Yeah.
And I just screwed a screw in there, and it's latched onto the thing.
This one has like 5 screws, and it's like a swivel. It like you can pull it out and move it everywhere.
Mine's the same way. That part's
really weird
to the wall, and that one's the one that moves all around. And then just the one spot that was connected to the back of the TV just hooks on there, and then you can just clamp it on. I got it for like $45 at Walmart.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we got ours at Walmart too. So, but we've had ours was upstairs for a long time. So, I don't know. I don't remember how I put it on the wall. I feel like it was super easy. I think me and her sister mounted it the first time. So I was like, I don't know why it's such a pain. I think that's because I have it up higher, but
Could be.
I don't know. I'll figure it out eventually.
Well,
I gotta figure out the furniture situation in the basement too, because that space is a little strange.
are you gonna put? So it's like it's longer, like from where the TV is. Are you gonna put the furniture up close by the TV or in like the back side? Or are you gonna put like a Peloton or something in the back?
No, I think so. I think when you come down, I think we're trying to figure. I think we're gonna leave enough space for like a hallway walking, basically.
Okay.
And then kind of like box that in as like a room right there to the TV. I think, but we keep looking at furniture and then we can't really ever decide on what actually works. I was thinking about going like diagonal with like a big sectional because I found a sectional like, but then I like taped it out on the floor and it just was too damn big.
Yeah.
So.
That's how our living room is. Our sectional's too big, but it actually works out now because it kind of keeps the kids contained to the living room.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like I like a nice like boxed off room for some reason. I don't know why. Like which is the kind of the opposite of what we have in our living room because our living room's kind of just open, but that's by design because it's kind of an open sideways sort of thing. The layout, your layout's different at your house, right? Because you like kind of have like an island and then you probably have like furniture and then you have like a TV straight. So it's all like straight lines.
Yeah, our kitchen and family room are all in line.
Yeah. Ours is sideways kind of sort of. So it's
right.
weird.
And then our dining room is off to the side. So I guess it's kind of like an L.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all open.
That makes sense. Our dining room's in a weird spot. So one thing I would change about our house if I rebought our house, that's the one thing I don't love is where the dining room's at. There's
some stuff that we should have done differently. Now we know after we built the house. More light switches were like important. Like we don't have light switches in spots I feel like we should have light switches, but that's kind of hard to tell until you were like living there.
Yeah. Which is weird too, especially like for like that, like you wouldn't think it would make a difference, but like where you put like outlets and light switches are like really big deals.
Yeah, if we ever build another house, which I think someday we probably will, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I will have a shitload of outlets. Like we have the standard right now, and I think we added a couple extra, but like I don't want to have to be like, well, I don't want to spend the money on that. Like if we build another house, I'm making sure I have just extra money in my head already that I'm going to spend. Like I should have done a 2.5 car garage instead of a 2 car garage or even a 3 car.
Yeah.
I was like, well, we have 2 cars, but then you just don't realize that you're not going to actually park 2 cars in there. And then the driveway's kind of thin.
Yeah. And you're just going to end up putting other stuff in your garage because that's what the garage is for.
Right.
Especially now that our basement's finished. That's where all of our extra stuff is.
The only time I park in the garage is if I know I have to leave again. Like if Taylor's gone and I know I'm going to leave again before she gets home, or if she's out of town or something.
Yeah.
But it's even then I forget to park in the garage sometimes. Like she'll her cousins will graduate. Like she has like 5 cousins or something in North Carolina, and every time she goes out for graduation, I'm by myself. And I'll like spend a couple days and I forget I could park in the garage.
Well, but it's also graduation, so it's probably summertime, so it's probably nice there. So you probably don't think about it.
Well, and by the time that happens, a lot of times the garage is already packed full, like my mower and stuff's back, so nobody's parking in the garage.
Yeah. That's the good thing about having nice weather is you don't really have to park in the garage, but like then you have like the cold freezing and you're like, you know, you try to do the chivalrous thing and I'm parking outside, so I have to scrape my shit off, but like try to make it as easy for your wife as possible. So
exactly. Well, I installed a garage heater this winter. And
how does that work?
So I when we built the house, I had them run a gas line out there.
Ah, makes sense.
So somebody was selling one that we know. They bought it like 20 years ago and never used it. So I mounted it. I was having trouble getting it running. My father-in-law came over. We got it going.
Nice.
And then we have LP gas, which is, I don't know what that actually stands for. But it's basically like propane.
Okay.
And so we have a tank. We don't have like a ground-fed line or anything. Like we have a tank that sits outside our house that they fill up. And
got you.
We don't have the NIPSCO's the big gas company around here that runs down our road, so that's what we have. So they have to come fill it up, so we pay every time it gets filled up.
Yeah.
And with that garage heater running on low, like it sucked down our tank. Like it went down quick. So now my garage is insulated and I have the thing shut off.
Yeah.
So it helps block the wind and stuff. It's still cold out there, but when that was running, it was so nice to run out to the garage fridge or do whatever in the garage because there was heat. But
yeah,
now back to just being fucking cold.
Does it heat up fast?
Yeah, it heats up fairly quick. But
so like if you're doing something out there, you can flip it on and not be like if you're gonna be out in the garage for like 30-40 minutes.
Yeah, it's there's something wrong with the starter, so it was kind of a bitch to start.
Gotcha.
But gas prices are so high for that right now.
So
it's not even I would rather be cold.
Yeah. You're like, I'd rather freeze and then pay for the gas prices.
Like we'll go through like the entire summer without having to get it refilled because the only thing that runs on gas in my house is the furnace, which we don't use then, and the water heater.
No, it makes sense.
Because I got electric appliances for that reason.
Makes sense. That's smart.
Yeah, neither of us had ever had. No, I think she might have grew up with electric appliances. I always had gas appliances growing up.
Yeah, makes sense. Like gas stove and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it was different at first, but I mean,
I can't even remember the last gas stove I had. To be honest with you,
we had one in our first house, but that came stock.
Yeah, white top probably.
Yeah, I think they had white appliances there.
Yeah. I feel like every gas stove I've ever seen has a white top for some reason. I don't know.
My mom actually has a gas range that isn't like an actual stove. It just sits on top of it's built into the top of the counter.
Huh.
But it's a gas one.
Huh. That's neat. Like she can cook on it and stuff?
Yeah. It just looks like the stove should be there, but it's built into the cabinet. I don't know why when she got her kitchen remodeled, she didn't put electric in because she has the LP gas too.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I mean, yeah. I think if you have that situation, then yeah, you definitely go all electric.
Yeah. So growing up, well, not even like, I guess in high school, my brother had a cat that had kittens. So I want to think I was maybe like I was sometime in high school, and I think it was the early half of high school.
Yeah. And
we ended up with 2 cats at my parents' house from that litter. I don't know how that happened. My dad loved cats, so that's why
my dad loves cats too. Shout out Chuck, who just passed away. My dad just put his cat down this week.
Okay, so we had sorry to hear about Chuck.
Yeah.
So we got 2 orange cats that looked nearly identical. One of them had a bent tail I didn't know it at the time. I have two good friends who are twins.
Okay.
And their names are Steve and Joe. Joe broke his nose when he was younger, so he's got a crooked nose. I named the cats Steve and Joe because I thought it was funny, and we were in high school. And Joe, the cat, who was like the coolest cat, he was like half human, had a crooked tail. I found out later, so it was funny that the Joe matched up.
Appropriate.
But Joe, my mom had to put Joe down yesterday.
Oh,
so
shit.
Like both of our parents put down cats.
Bad week for cats in the Off the Rails family.
Yeah. So Steve's the only one left. When my dad died, there were 4 cats in the house. And now my mom's down to 1, and my mom doesn't really like she was sad about Joe. She likes the cats, but like she was like, if it wasn't for my dad, she wouldn't have had cats.
That's how I feel about dogs, kind of, to be honest with you.
See, I'm a dog guy, but I'm starting to lean more towards being a cat person just because our dogs are a pain in the ass.
Well, that's the thing with dogs is like, I'm not like, I know my sensibilities and I don't want to take the time to train a dog. I don't want to take the time to let the dog out. I don't like, there's so much you have to do for the dog, even though the dog's super smart and all that kind of stuff. Whereas like a cat, like kind of self-contained, like you can forget you have a cat.
Yeah. Just put food out and change the litter box.
Yeah. So
I think the deal with their dogs though is like growing up, Taylor and I both had really good dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what I've done differently with our dogs, but they're kind of stupid. They're smart, but they like the other day, the one just randomly pissed in the house. Like he had just gone out recently and decided he was going to piss in the house. And then the 2 little ones now are starting to fight each other. So, but I had these great dogs growing up, unless it was just a memory that I have or something from being a kid.
No, they were probably pretty well behaved. Also, you probably didn't have to deal with all of the stuff the shitty stuff they did too, because you're as a parent, like you
that's probably a lot to do with it. I was known to like if there's an accident in the house, had a weak stomach as a kid, I would just throw like a paper towel on it and tell my mom.
Dude, that's the funniest shit ever. Like I don't have a weak stomach for anything. Like it's like there's very like the only thing that this is stupid. The only thing that makes me that way is mayonnaise. Like for some reason, the feel and the smell and the touch of it. I can't.
Now, personally, I don't think there's a difference. But does Miracle Whip do the same thing to you?
Yes. Yeah, it's the same for me.
I like them both, but like
one's sweeter or tangier or something.
Supposedly, but if somebody asks if I want mayonnaise or Miracle Whip, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't notice much of a difference. She will tell me that it's mayonnaise all the way, I believe. Well, so I probably don't get Miracle Whip unless I go to a restaurant or get like
mayonnaise is like the mainstay in our house. I know that. Like I think the kids will eat Miracle Whip if they have to, but I think it's got to be mayonnaise. I think. Yeah, I don't know if they have like a specific brand or anything because I just don't care because I'm just like
right. If I was in charge of grocery shopping, I guarantee we would not always have the same one. Sometimes I would go there and buy Kroger brand mayonnaise, I'm sure, and then sometimes I would get Miracle Whip.
Have you ever, speaking of that, and now we're in this, I don't, it's been so long since I've done grocery shopping because my wife won't let me grocery shop at all. Like, but one time she was like, hey, I need you to go to the store and get hamburger buns, hot dog buns, ketchup, mustard. I think we're having like some kind of cookout.
Sounds like it.
There was like 5 or 6 other things, right? And like I got store brand on everything except for toilet paper because I know like people are like, you're not going to get store brand toilet paper. You probably want to get something halfway decent. Mm-hmm. Like I was like, she was like, keep it on, try to keep it under like $50. I was like at like 25. And I got back and I was like, I saved us like $25. I was like, didn't even come close. And she was like, this is all store brand. Like this is what are you doing? And I was like, it's the same.
I know there's certain products that she gets store brand and it's fine. And then some she doesn't, but I could not tell you which one it is. And I actually enjoy grocery shopping, but I'm sure I would fuck it up.
Well, dude, if I was a single dude, I would for sure like have like the lowest grocery budget ever because I will eat store brand. I don't care. Like pizza, like if I go to the frozen pizza thing or whatever, I'm that dude. I'm like staring at it and like I watch people like grab like DiGiorno's. Nothing against DiGiorno's, they're good. Like whatever else other brands there are, and I'm like, That's $7. In this parking lot, there's a Little Caesars right there. Whoops, there's a Little Caesars right there. You can get a hot and ready pepperoni right now for $5.50.
Which, speaking of hot and readies, we got them Sunday after church. I know we're doing our eating good thing or whatever, but like
I had pizza this week too, so it's all good.
I went in there. I was like, I'll take a sausage and a pepperoni hot and ready. He's like, the sausage will take like 20 minutes. We don't do those in hot and ready anymore. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? They just do pepperoni on hot and readies now?
I think it's pepperoni and cheese, but I don't even think they make a ton of cheese ones because like one of my daughters will get real picky sometimes and only eat cheese. So then I'll have to get her a cheese pizza. My wife will be like, just order it half and half. And I'm like, that's not how this works at Little Caesars. Like you just go in and get 2 pizzas because it's the same price basically.
Right.
Like,
hot and readies are a brilliant idea, but they need to have more. Like, you can't just have pepperoni. I'll eat pepperoni pizza, but which is probably the most popular flavor of pizza that or is that just like the stereotype? But
I would guess pepperoni's got to be the most popular.
I would guess if I was ranking, if I sat down, and I'm not going to do it, I know that's something we'd probably do, and we've done a pizza draft. I don't think a pepperoni pizza. I think I could come up with 9 or 10 pizzas I would order before a pepperoni pizza.
I mean, if I'm going to hot and ready, pepperoni is perfectly fine. I don't care. But if I'm going to go and order a specialty pizza or like sit down at a place, I'm definitely not getting pepperoni.
Okay, so I guess I should say if I had to do a single topping pizza from like, if I was not hot and ready, but like just from like Papa John's or even Little Caesars, Domino's, I guess pepperoni at that point is probably in the top 10 because there's only so many.
Yeah.
But I would definitely go mushroom ahead of that, plain cheese ahead of that, veggie ahead of that. But I guess that's more than one. I don't know. Pepperoni would be lower on my list.
It's tough because like I'm like, that is a tough one too. If it's just one topping, because like
if they could give me a cheese pizza and then put raw pepperonis on top, I think I would like that better.
I like pepperonis, so I would go with pepperoni pizza probably if it was one topping, but maybe not first. I don't know why, but I like chicken on my pizza.
One of my favorite pizzas is chicken bacon ranch. We'll get it every now and then.
I could go chicken and bacon. I won't put ranch on anything.
I wonder if that's like more of a ranch is huge around here. I don't know if that's like I know you were born up in the Midwest, but
my kids and my wife will dip their pizza in ranch, but they don't dip it in ketchup. That's for sure.
Marco. I only dip. The only pizza I'll dip in ranch is frozen pizza. Other than that, I'll dip it in garlic butter if they have it. But other than that, I just
garlic. That's a new one that I've gotten into recently. Is the garlic butter.
Yeah, because we would order Papa John's quite a bit, and that always comes stock with garlic butter. So that's where I first got it, and I was like, "This is awesome." I should have known it was awesome because I like garlic and I like butter. Yeah,
garlic is one of those things as I've gotten older that I'm like, I realize I like it a lot more than I realized.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh yeah, this is like awesome. Why the fuck wouldn't I put this on everything?
There's a lot of things I've realized since I've got older that I like now. Like, I'll eat Brussels sprouts. I'll eat asparagus. I will not eat zucchini. But
have you ever gone to a hibachi though, like a Japanese restaurant?
Yeah, I avoid it.
Dude.
The only time I will accidentally eat zucchini is if it's deep fried and it doesn't bother me. My problem with zucchini is that I feel like somebody else already chewed it. It's just mushy. I don't know.
I can see that.
But that's the only food I have a mushy problem with. I like the flavor of coconut. I like the smell of coconut. So I like the taste of coconut, but I don't eat coconut because it tastes like paper, or I feel like I'm eating paper.
The texture.
Yes, I have a texture issue there.
That makes sense. I can see that. Texture is a big thing for me too. That's why like I prefer like if you're going to do like potatoes or something, right? Like because you got like baked potatoes, you got mashed potatoes. My favorite all time, you have French fries, you have potato wedges, but like my favorite all time is and I haven't done it very often, but I used to get when I was first like divorced for my first wife, I would do the 2 for like it was like 2 for like 20 or whatever, like almost every Friday from like Applebee's, and like they had like the steak with like I get double potatoes, but you have like the steak juice in the potatoes. It was awesome, but for some reason like they have like the red potatoes,
Mm-hmm.
and they are totally different. Like it's a totally different like. I love red potatoes.
My potato intake. I just recently started eating baked potatoes, and I would eat them growing up, but I hated the potato skins, and I still won't eat potato skin.
Fair.
I'll eat potato skins if they're like, like the circle ones that are deep fried or whatever. You can pretty much deep fry anything, and I'll probably eat it.
I was gonna say that's what I'm starting to get.
But if given the choice at a restaurant, typically I'm going to just choose mashed potatoes or fries.
Yeah, I'm not a big fries guy.
Or au gratin or any of that stuff. I'll eat fries. Fries are fine, but I don't like ever crave fries.
Give me a good mashed potato. I'll eat baked potato. I'm also not the biggest fan of baked potatoes.
I like twice baked potatoes. Those are good.
Twice baked potatoes are super good.
That's basically a baked potato with mashed potatoes throwing
inside.
Up out of it.
Yeah, basically. Like the baked potato portion is just like the housing of like
right
everything else that makes. Shoot, I forgot what Taya made. My wife made some potato thing where like the potatoes went inside of something, but it wasn't potato skins, and I forgot what it was, but it was super good. I forgot what it was, and then it got baked again.
So Kevin Looney made the first points in the Warriors game.
Didn't have Kevin Looney.
Nope. Curry hasn't even scored yet.
Fuck Steph Curry. Come on, Curry.
For the Lakers game,
if it was Anthony Davis, I think we got something.
Yusuf Nurkic.
I thought about taking him too.
He had the best odds too, but I was like, why is AD and LeBron right behind him? Like that's the choice.
I think it was because they traded CJ McCollum and Dame's not playing, so I think they were just like he's like the only dude that can score, I guess.
And the only person that missed a shot before was Malik Monk, so it wasn't like Davis had an opportunity.
Well, I mean, it was worth it. It was a $2.60 investment from my part, so
right.
I'll take it.
And Royce O'Neal missed a 2-point layup for the Jazz in the other game, so it wasn't like Curry missed anything either.
Nice. It's probably will screw me over later on. Those 2 points that Royce O'Neal didn't get.
I think I went 18 for 20 on the Bulls game.
Actually, is the Bulls game over? I'll tell you how many I missed. Let's see. I was doing pretty good on a couple of them, and then so I missed the. I had like a 19 leg parlay in the Spurs and whoever the hell the Spurs Cavaliers game, and I missed by 0.5 assists by Derek White. So that kind of sucked, but.
Where is now? I gotta scroll because it. Oh boy! Yeah, and the only two I missed: LaMelo Ball over 4.5. Nope, that's not it. I've got to look at it this way. LaMelo Ball over 5.5 assists. He had 5.
Sweet, I think I got that one because I had him at 4.5.
And then who's this other guy? PJ Washington, over 8.5 points, and he had 5.
Yikes. Yeah, I don't know. Did I make any? That game's over, so let's see. I hit a bunch of these like one-offs. So let's see. It's the problem with betting so much is that it's hard to find the things you're actually looking for.
Oh yeah, especially when you break them all down individually.
Yeah, which kind of sucks.
A bunch of 9-cent bets.
So it looks like I missed in the Raptors game. I only missed 3, and the 3 I missed were Scotty Barnes needed 2 more rebounds, Fred VanVleet needed 2 more rebounds, and Gary Trent needed 1 more rebound. So I missed that one.
I have noticed it seems like rebounds tend to hit more. I know I've lost a couple on rebounds, but
they do hit more.
It seems like those are more standard I suppose more true to form.
Like they're more like they're like they stay pretty steady. Like if someone gets like 8 boards a game, like they're going to be around it most of the time. Yeah, I guess they keep switching over my thing. So when I go to settled, it doesn't give me the one I'm looking for. But then I'm like, I don't even know how many I missed on that one. Or did the Raptors game finish after? Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Oh, I hit my parlay in the Bulls game.
Nice.
Yep, hit it. Let's see. So I hit it normally, and then I also hit it with the Hornets alternative spread, and I hit it with the over, and I hit it with the alternative spread and the over. So I hit 4 parlays technically.
Nice.
Yeah. And I hit all of the individual ones.
Right.
So that's not bad.
No.
So one game worked out so far.
Positive.
And then I missed one by 0.5 of an assist. So I was almost hit 2. And then all 4 of those would have hit 2 because the over hit and the alternative spread hit. So
nice.
Yeah. Maybe I'm onto something.
Were you like today while you were doing this? Were you like Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover when like all the numbers are going around his head?
Yeah, just like. Duh, I love numbers. I know, like we actually just had this we have this accountability, which I mentioned, which I'll re-mention. We have this accountability group that me, Jems, and our wives are in, and we mentioned it in the shortened version, but yeah, we mentioned in there that we like math, and apparently our wives don't. So,
yeah, it's weird. I just feel like numbers make sense. Like they're universal. Like all languages use numbers, right? I mean, obviously a form of numbers, but like I think they use the same numbers, don't they? Like, are there Chinese symbols for numbers, or do they use like the same numbers we use?
I think they use probably Chinese symbols. I would guess. I'm totally speaking out of pocket with that, but I don't have a clue. I don't know. But I don't know what like foreign languages use either. So I don't know if they use the same numerals, but I know like Roman numerals, obviously.
Right.
But like, I don't know if like the 1, 2, 3, all of those are like universal or not. And then you obviously have like metric system and all that kind of shit. That's like different, Celsius and Fahrenheit and all those, but they're still numbers.
And apparently the world's like the metric system makes a lot more sense than our number. Not to me, because
I'm a numbers person and I know the metrics for the most part.
Right.
I don't understand how it makes more sense to people.
I think it's just because it's like multiples of 10.
I mean, I guess, but like I'm like some of that stuff doesn't make sense though. So I'm like, what if you're 6 foot tall, but now in the metric system you're 7 meters or whatever the fuck, like
7 meters would be very tall.
7 meters is like 21 feet tall, but you're like 2.1 meter or something like that. That doesn't make no sense.
Yeah,
that's so stupid. And why can't we call a meter a yard? Because it's basically the same thing. I think a meter is like slightly bigger. It's like a millimeter.
Can we start measuring people in like knots and stuff? Or knots is a speed, I guess. Like furlongs.
Just like, doesn't someplace you're measured in stone, aren't you, or something like that?
I think that's weight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do we just measure people in hands like they do horses?
Is that how they measure horses?
I think they're called hands. Yeah.
Dude, that actually makes a fuck ton of sense. And you just taught me something, Jems. I used to sell wine. That was my profession, was to sell wine, and we had one that had a horse on it and it was called 14 hands. And I wonder if it's because fucking there's 14 hands.
The horse that they milked that wine out of was 14 hands tall.
I didn't know they measured horses in hands. That's a random measurement too, because not all hands are the same.
Right. I assume there's an actual like.
That's why the stone one fucks me up, right? Where they're like, I'm 14 stone or whatever. I'm like, not all stones are the same fucking size though.
A hand is typically 4 inches. The number after the decimal point is. So a pony that is 12.1 hands high is 49 inches tall. So the point is after the decimal point is an inch. So it's like a remainder in like a division, kind of.
That doesn't make a bit of sense.
So if a horse is 10.2 hands tall, it is 42 inches tall.
Okay.
So, hand is 4 inches.
Next time, I think my son's like almost 42 inches. So next time my wife asks me how tall he is, because she does it frequently, I'm like, he's 10.2 hands.
I think I'm going to use the same thing. Like, how?
Dude, I'm trying to think of like, so a hand is 4 inches. So a baseball from one base to another base is 270 hands.
It's 90 feet.
There's
Is that
three hands on a feet, right? 3 hands on a feet, 4 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the easier way to break it down than me figuring out how many inches are 90 feet.
Yeah. So 270 hands.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Just start doing everything in hands. Just start a new thing. Just be fucking people up.
Start doing mileage in hands.
Like got like a 40-inch vertical. You'd be like, he's got a 10 hand vertical.
What's impressive? What sound? 40 inches sounds better than 10 hands, though.
That's what I'm saying. Everything.
It's like in my head, like if you're measuring how high somebody jumps, you're not doing it this way with your hand upright. You're going like this.
No.
And that's probably just because I went to school with a bunch of white kids. So you would think that you'd be measuring like this.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, everything bigger numbers is more impressive, though. Imagine if you had it, like just like you're like romancing a lady and she's like, how big is it? And you're like, it's 2 hands.
See, that sounds better.
Not. Wonder if that's where it comes from, though.
8 inches or 2 hands? Like 2 hands to control it.
I don't know what's better there. Would you rather be 8 inches or 2 hands?
I think 2 hands. Leave it up to their imagination.
Yeah, that's a weird one. That's one of those ones where it's like it's a gray area because I don't know if you'd want 8 inches or 2 hands to describe yourself. Do you feel like the number, but then his hands? Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think over a certain number of hands, I think the inches are more impressive.
Yeah.
So like, because it seems bigger, I guess.
You sound more like a douchebag if you're like 2 hands.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Plus, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
What am I getting in for here? 2 hands?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably like a no-go for a lot of people.
That's a weird one. I feel like that's one we need an answer from Taylor on. Like, figure out which one she would be more impressed by.
I can call her.
Like, if it was a random, like if she was single and some dude was like, because that's a weird one, right? Because it's like in between. But now, like the base path, if you're like it's 90 feet or fucking 270 hands, you're like, that seems kind of stupid. But then if you really think about it, like a football field's 120 yards because it's the 10 yards
right
in the end zone. So I mean, like, but then each yard is 3 feet, so it's really like 360 feet.
Yeah.
So that would be like
hands,
1,000 hands.
Yeah. So there's 3 hands to a foot. There's 3.
So there's 9 to a yard.
There's 9 hands in a yard.
Yeah.
So it's like what, 1080, 1180?
Yeah, 1080. Yeah, 1080.
1080.
So
he threw he threw for 3,000 hands today.
The math would just be so fucked up. Oh Jesus! I mean, fucking, that's so stupid. I think about that sometimes when I'm like how impressive it is if you thought about it, right? So like, I think one year Matthew Stafford threw for like 5,089 yards or something like that. It was like something ridiculous. And then I was like, well, I mean, 5,280 is like mile, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, he basically threw for like 3 miles in the season.
Yeah, he basically threw for. Well, he did. This is gonna sound something I was about to say real stupid, because he threw for over 5,000 yards. And it was like he basically threw for 5K, like a 5K run. But obviously he did that.
But yeah, he did. Yeah, that's wild. Like when you think about it, you're like, dude, 3 miles is a lot. Like,
yeah,
to throw a football.
Well, think about how many like Tom Brady has thrown for like 82,000 yards in his career.
That's crazy. That's like he could get through some towns, like just on his passing yards.
So yeah, he definitely could. So I looked this up after I'd already figured it out to double check, but I also thought Google might tell me, why are you Googling this, you moron? I did the math in the calculator first, but then I wanted to see what Google told me. There are 15,840 hands in a mile.
Okay.
I wonder how many times that question has been asked to a search engine. Like, how many people are dumb like us, where they're like, how many hands are in a mile?
Well, dude, I vended, no joke, for like 10 years wine, and I saw that box every time, and I was like, no clue why the fuck that thing's called that. I just found out today.
So where did the 14 hands come from? Was that just like a horse they had that was 14 hands tall? Or
Maybe.
was it
that's a fucking massive that's a massive horse though.
56 inches?
Like, that's a pretty damn big horse, isn't it?
I think so. I'm not real sure. 50 so I am 5 feet? Oh, I'm 5'10". Tone's like 6'3".
I'm
so 60 inches.
Hands.
So no, I don't think that's that big, because 60 inches is 5 feet. So if a horse is 56 inches tall, I don't think that's tall. I feel like horses are fucking big.
That's true. Maybe it was a small horse then.
Maybe like a pony,
like a Seabiscuit.
Are thoroughbreds small horses? I assume they were pretty big.
I don't know. That's the thing. Is like measurement's weird. This is the most oddball fucking conversation I've ever had, and I'm thoroughly intrigued by it.
All right. So we've established what hands are. How much is a stone? The stone, or stone weight, is an English and imperial unit of mass equal to 14 pounds.
What the fuck is with 14s? Dude. So 14 pounds. So if you were 10 stone, you were 140 pounds.
Right.
Okay.
I think on our update Sunday, I might do it in stones.
I might too. Just I gotta figure the math. My goal is to be 230 by our weigh-in on Sunday. I'm pretty close.
So currently I'm 16.0714286 stones.
I mean, also though, is there different measurements in the stone? Like in that stone measurement, is it like stone is the only thing? Because like, we have like, I guess it's all pounds, but I guess but we're so individualized. That's 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pounds. Like, I mean, 14 is like a oddball number,
right? But just like with the hands, it was like 14.1. So I'm trying to see if the stone has.
But even the 0.1s would make no sense, because then, I mean, a 0.1 is like 1.4 pound, right?
For hands,
a 0.1 like of a stone would be 1.4 pounds, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if it does it like that, because the hand one is just like 0.1 is how many inches after. It's not actually.
Yeah. See, that makes no sense now that I'm thinking about it.
Right. So let's just say 20 pounds. That is 1.42857 stone. So like maybe they just do it like that. I I would assume it's outdated. Like, do they often use the stone measurement?
I feel like I hear it on things like
I think it's on like World's Strongest Man stuff.
maybe, which
And there they probably have even a number of stone.
they're like, fuck it, we lift stones all day. But
Right.
I was like, I wonder if you could be like, I'm 14 stone and 3 boulders or something like that. Like, or
14 stone, 3 boulders, and 2 pebbles. How do we get to the point where we make our own unit of measurement?
I don't know, dude. I think it'd be funny as fuck though.
What would we measure in? Like baseballs? But is that a distance or a weight?
Could be both.
Yeah. But like it would have to make like no sense. Be like my baseball I am 120 baseballs, so I'm 240 pounds or something like that.
How much does the baseball weigh? Baseball's got to
Like,
have a standard
What is
weight.
it, like 5.8 ounces or something?
I think so, maybe. Isn't there 162 stitches in a baseball though?
How many ounces is a baseball? Baseballs. The circumference of a baseball is 9 to 9.25 inches, and the weight between 5 and 5.25 ounces.
So how many ounces are in a 16 ounces are in a pound, right?
Yeah.
So basically 3 baseballs is a pound.
Yeah. Full
Roughly.
disclosure there, I'm trusting you. I wasn't necessarily paying attention when I was looking up how many stitches are in a baseball.
We said 5 something, 5 ounces. So I was like,
Yeah.
with some change. So I was like, if 16 ounces, you do 3, that's 15. I was like, figured it'd work down the wash there.
It says there are 108 stitches in the cowhide leather of each ball.
I thought there was. Why did I think there was 162? I know that's the amount of games. I thought it like corresponded with something like that, but
It's 216 single stitches, 108 double stitches.
oh, I had the right numbers then.
Yeah.
216, 162. Just inverted them.
Yeah. Dyslexic Tone got it.
You know, I know what I'm talking about. The human brain weighs 0.6 stones, so.
Is that accurate?
That was a Jerry Maguire callback, by the way.
Was it?
Like never happening before. Remember the little Jonathan, little Nicky kid says the human
I haven't
brain.
seen Jerry Maguire. I know
What?
who. Yeah, you would think I would have. There's a lot of movies that you would think I have seen that I have not.
Jerry Maguire is definitely one you got to watch at least once.
Like, there's sports movies I have not watched that I should watch. I've never seen a Rocky.
I don't feel like you. I think certain Rockies you should see, but like some of them, like it fucking why. So, but Jerry Maguire's got so many key phrases from it. So, like, show me the money,
Right.
The human head weighs 8 pounds. There's other ones. Why can't I think of them? Who's coming with me? That one. Where
This seems like a common phrase no matter what, though.
Yeah, but I think that's what most people think of when they spoofed it in like a Half Baked, but you probably haven't seen either.
I've seen parts of Half Baked. I don't know why I haven't seen it, because that would be a movie I would probably think is hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's funny. Okay? So that's a good way to end this. This has been a great conversation. Top 5 go-to funny movies.
I'm bad about this too, because like a lot of times if I watch a movie, I probably only watch it once. Like if I already know what happens, I like the surprise of not knowing what happens. But I'm gonna do this in no particular order. Like I really liked The Hangover, the first one.
Legit movie.
Actually, full disclosure, I liked all the Hangovers. I like Tommy Boy.
It's a good one too.
Oh gosh,
Super bad one for me. I like super
bad. Grandma's Boy
Bad's
is
in my
another one
top
I think
5.
is hilarious.
To the first 21 Jump Street with Jonah Hill and
That was very funny.
super hilarious.
So I seen that. I don't know, like I'm weird because a lot of people could name rattle off their top 5 like that.
I can't because I have some weird ones. Like Mallrats is in my top 5. It's got Jason Lee and uh, Jeremy London, I think, in it. But like it's like a Kevin Smith movie, so it's got Jay and Silent Bob in it.
No, okay.
It's super funny. That's a funny one.
I haven't watched those either.
Some of them are hit or miss. I used to really like them a lot, but like Mallrats is probably my favorite. I've seen it a zillion times. As Ethan Suplee in it too. The dude who used to be big was on Remember the Titans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was in it.
Is he also the one that was my Earl's brother and My Name is Earl? That guy?
Yeah, and the guy who played Earl is Jason Lee.
Jason Lee, right?
Yeah. Yep. So you might like that if you like My Name is Earl.
I did watch quite a bit of My Name is Earl. And I've probably said this on here before. Like, I struggle to like start a movie I want to see, and I think it's because I get sidetracked in it and like want to check something out, or like I prefer to watch a movie on my, not just because of the size of watching on a TV over my phone, because the entire time I'm watching a movie, I am on IMDb or Wikipedia looking shit up about the actors, the actresses.
Dude,
like,
this is legitimately, I'm about to give you the experience of me watching a movie. This is like, say we were watching Mallrats, right? So it'd be like, Mallrats. I will literally look it up. It's a 1995 movie, 7.1 on IMDb, whatever. But I literally, this is what I would do. I've seen the movie a zillion times too, so that helps. But like, find me some. By the way, IMDb redid their site, so it's kind of harder. But I'd go to trivia. You give me the trivia.
Oh yeah. And
then I'm like, it's the best.
Oh yeah, I constantly am reading IMDb trivia.
Yeah.
Like last night, we started watching The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window.
What? On Netflix. Oh, is that the spoof one?
Yeah, but we haven't watched a lot of like scary movies and thrillers, so like it's all new to us, and it's kind of like an actual thriller.
Yeah.
But I was reading up on that, trying to figure out what it was spoofing and stuff. And Taylor's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Movie research."
Makes sense. So like funny stuff too, like on here. So it's like when you get or this is my favorite. So it's like Jennifer Love Hewitt tried out for the role of Trisha Jones in this movie, right? And I'm like, that's super funny because like you're like, oh, I can imagine that person playing that role, or whatever. Like Steve Zahn got tried out for the role that Jason Lee got. So I'm like, I could see him play that. Like,
yeah, I love IMDb trivia,
like stuff like that. So like, I'll just be on there and be like, oh, that's crazy. Or like, it's always funny to see where certain things are filmed sometimes, and all that stuff. Like, so I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's kind of neat.
Yeah, and I like looking up like who they're married to, where they're from.
Have you ever been? Has anything ever been filmed in your town?
Prancer. Have you ever watched the Christmas movie Prancer? It's with Sam Elliott.
Is it a Hallmark movie?
No, it's like it was like in 1989.
Prancer. Interesting. So the reason I asked that is because like in Virginia Beach, like I was just talking to my dad, because on one of the upcoming DeQuell Jackson podcasts, Athletes Unplugged, we had on Formula 3, I think it is, race car driver. He's like 16 over in Europe. He's from
So Virginia. Is that like ARCA to NASCAR? Like it's not quite Nationwide or Busch or whatever the second one is?
I think it's like almost like the truck series, I guess.
Okay.
Version, because then you go through trucks and then you go to Xfinity and then you go to the top. So it's like 3 tiers out.
So he's going to be Busch to me.
Yeah, but he's like 16, and his dad, they're from Virginia Beach, and his dad was like a Navy SEAL, and so I was asking my dad because he's the president of the VFW and stuff, and knows a ton of people there and stuff. If he knew him, and then he's like, I don't know. He's like, it's funny. I feel like I've seen him at the Ready Room. There's like a bar that's like a SEAL bar, I guess, kind of. And he's like, my dad goes there, and because a bunch of his best friends are SEALs. or were seals.
Navy. Just so
Yeah.
for our listeners, a Navy SEAL,
Navy
not
seal.
like
Navy seal.
some
Like
friends.
seals.
His dad is not friends with the animal. He might be, but like that's not who he's going to the bar with.
No, no, he's friends with a lot of Navy SEAls, and I guess that there was a Navy SEAL movie that was filmed in Virginia Beach. Parts of it were with Charlie Sheen and stuff, and they filmed stuff in that bar. So I was just having that conversation with him the other day about it. So I was like, I wonder if anything's been filmed in Jems' neck of the woods.
Yeah, Prancer, which had Sam Elliott, Cloris Leachman. It's a Christmas movie.
That's cool.
I'm sure they just filmed a Belle Gunnis movie, but she was our local serial killer.
Ooh.
And that had Tracy Lords played her.
Tracy Lords, the underage porn star?
That one. She's the one that played Belle Gunnis. And Belle Gunnis was like a very homely woman. So I would be interested to see how that panned out.
By the way, Johnny Galecki was in Prancer as well.
Was he?
Yeah, it says he was part of the cast.
That makes sense. I think I probably knew that. Johnny Galecki just killing Christmas movies.
Makes sense. Dude, that's crazy, dude.
Abe Vigoda.
It says it right here. It's on the Wikipedia page, by the way. Look at New Carlisle, Indiana, LaPorte, Indiana.
And Three Oaks, Michigan.
And no, it says at Starved Rock State Park in Utica, Illinois.
Starved Rock is Illinois. But I know part of it was in Three Oaks because there's I think they show Dryer's meat.
Dude, that movie made bank, dude.
John Hancock lives in Rolling Prairie. The guy that produced her for it, or the director, yeah.
Huh. Dude, that movie was filmed for $7 million and made $18.6 million.
It's a pretty good return.
It's a pretty good return, dude. It's legit. Who knew? Prancer.
My cousin was an extra in the movie. I'm sure there's a ton of people in our area that were extras. But I think they used the Old Republic, which is now it's like the museum.
So are you in LaPorte or New Carlisle?
I am between them in Rolling Prairie.
Got you. So you're not really in either, but you're in both. Makes sense.
Yeah. LaPorte is the town to the west of me, and New Carlisle is the town to the east of me.
Gotcha.
Different counties, different time zones.
Oh, yeah, dude. We've had that conversation before. Super interesting. Dude, the notable people on some of these are super weird. I didn't realize just table tennis superstars from New Carlisle.
Oh, Dan C. Miller Sr.
Probably, yeah. I think we've had a conversation about him on here before.
Yeah,
don't you know his son or something?
Yeah. I know Dan C. Miller Jr.
That's so funny. There's a lot more notable people from LaPorte.
LaPorte's bigger. Okay. I think the only other person that I can think of from New Carlisle, if you are on that page, would be Schuyler Colfax, who is a vice president of the United States. And I can't remember his name offhand, but he was Washington State's head football coach.
Bill Doba.
Yep.
Yeah, those are the three.
LaPorte's got a more extensive list. I can't think of her name, but Topher Grace's wife's from LaPorte. There's been a handful of Major League Baseball players. Ron Reed, who played in the NBA for a season and played professional baseballs from LaPorte.
Dude, yeah, there's a good amount of
that started MuggleNet, his Harry Potter website is from, and it was a pretty big time, I guess.
Dude, that's crazy. I was trying to see who if there was anybody that stuck out that I was oh, dude, they're from there.
I'm sure there is that I'm forgetting.
I mean, I'm looking at them. I'm not seeing anybody that's jumping out the page that I'm oh, Scott Skiles is from there. Basketball player.
Yes, he is. Forgot about that. He was the Bulls coach too.
Yeah, he was the Bulls coach for a while.
I think he graduated from Plymouth High School though, which is a county and a half over.
That's hilarious.
Don Larson is from Michigan City, which is the next town over. The only guy that threw a perfect game in the World Series.
Oh yeah, dude.
Or no hitter, or is it a perfect game?
It was a perfect game.
Michigan City's got a handful of people.
Yeah, I think we've looked up Michigan City before.
I think so. I could spend hours going through looking at towns and see who the notable residents are.
It always kind of freaks me out. So because I'm you're the world's is a really big place, but like also then it's like super small because like then you're like, oh, there's all these like things like so like if I look up, I don't think there's probably any notable people necessarily from where I live. I don't even know they have a Wikipedia page. They probably don't. Oh, they do have a Wikipedia page.
I would guess your town is bigger than my town, like your technical hometown, where our addresses are.
I am looking it up. Let me see. We have. Nope.
There's no Wikipedia?
No. I think this population has to be wrong on Wikipedia. I'm going to guess.
Is it 4 digits?
Nope.
Is it 3 digits?
3 digits.
You think
200? It says 214, but that's as of 2020. It's got to be more than that.
Okay, ours hasn't been updated since 2010, and it says 582. So maybe you do have a bigger town, but like you have actual real stores, and I don't know where. I guess I don't know where the Peyton.
Yeah, it's weird too because we're technically not even Peyton. The only reason we're Peyton is because like Falcon doesn't have a post office or some shit.
Okay.
But did you know the government can't just build a post office? It has to be gifted to the town.
How? Like somebody's got to donate the land or something?
Yeah, or something like that. Like somebody was telling me about it. I haven't looked into it, so that could be completely like fucking weird shit. But like, it came from a pretty reputable source. Like this person has told me like probably 10, 15 things that I never knew that checked out. So I assume it's pretty accurate.
That's awesome. That's stuff I like.
Yeah, like, dude, when we get super popular on this thing, Jems and Tone, fucking like random history you didn't need to know.
Jems and Tone learn stuff. There's a lot of things that we can do that are creative and enjoyable to listen to.
It is kind of funny. It is kind of funny though when you like think about it and you're like, somebody had like the randomization of like how America was formed. Like I know there's other like shit that like went on, but like at some point, like your ancestors, you're from that area, right? You were like born in that area.
Yeah, I was born where I live.
So like somewhere along the line, your ancestors had to like stop and be like, we're going to join this town. That's probably nothing. That just kind of popped up out of the ground. Like,
yeah, like my mom's side of the family is from here, but her grandpa was from French Canada, somewhere in like the French side of Canada. And
you look like you could be French Canadian.
I apparently am. Like I pull up my ancestry. I think it's like 25% French Canadian or something.
Oh, dude, you're like deep into it. Like
well,
you're like
I said something to my mom about it when I got my results back, and she's like, "Yeah, Grandpa Mac could speak French."
You're like 0.25 hands of percentages.
There you go.
Yeah. That's wild. But yeah, dude, now that I'm thinking about it, I have to go. I got to get my dad's ancestry login. So where we're stuck on our ancestry is I think it's like my great-grandfather, my great-great-great-grandfather. And I found him, but like the way we do ours, you have to have like basically 2 solid pieces of evidence for you to add it in.
Basically like getting verified on Twitter.
Yeah, pretty much. And so I found them, but like because of how they wrote it down, it's funky. But then like we found his sisters, and one of his sisters' like husbands died in Indiana. They found him hanging from a tree, like he like committed suicide. Like, but where they were at in Michigan, it would have been like just right over the border, so it could have been like in your town.
Yeah. So how long ago would that have been?
I know. Like, let's see. Great grandfather had to have been. Well, no, I think it was my great grandfather. So my dad's grandfather. No, it had to be a lot back further than that. Maybe my great great grandfather.
So
5 generations.
I think I had might have been my grandma's great grandpa.
Yeah,
died when a sawmill fell on him or something.
Fuck.
In my head, sawmill is what's sticking out verbally to me, but in my head, I always pictured it as a windmill falling on him. So I don't know which one it actually was.
Makes sense. I had a relative that died. They got impaled by a railroad spike.
That's very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, pretty fucked up, dude. I'm like 90% sure that at some point we could whittle our fucking. We need to make a web series like where we figure out how we're related. Because I guarantee we're related somewhere.
You know, it'd be funnier if we figured out. Yeah, I mean, like we're both white guys. Like you think it can't be that far off, and I would assume our like lineage, like ethnicity, can't be that far off.
We're from a similar region,
right?
So,
it'd be more funny to just like pick out like a random like celebrity couple,
yeah,
and figure out how closely related they are.
Oh, I'm sure there's some that are like,
and they probably don't care,
uncomfortably like related,
right? But that's something I wouldn't want to do to like myself, like figure out like how far down the line until Taylor and I's family cross path.
Well, I think we've spoke on this in like other like episodes, but there's like towns where there's like 12 people.
Right.
So at some point, the crossing has to do something.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the documentary? It might just be on YouTube. That might have been, I don't know if it's on real TV or not, about the inbred family down in like Kentucky or Tennessee.
I haven't. No.
Oh gosh, I got to look up the name of it. And you'll have to check it out. It's crazy.
I'll probably watch it tonight.
The Whitakers.
The Whitakers.
The Whitakers.
Whitakers. Like, I could see it, dude. I gotta figure.
Whitakers.
Okay, I'm typing it in. I'm gonna add it.
They might be West Virginia. I don't know.
I mean, same.
Right.
Virginia, Kentucky, pretty. Might as well be the same. That's crazy. But yeah, man, I think that's a solid ending point. You guys learned about measurements, random ancestry stuff, funny movies, and some other things. Hometowns, painting, where movies were filmed.
Yeah,
and hanging televisions.
Right. This was a very educational episode of Off the Rails, and hopefully in the next couple weeks we have a couple interviews coming up.
Yeah, Jems is murdering that stuff. He's like getting guests left and right. Can't wait.
We won't say anything until they actually happen. Like these guys seem like they're cool and like we'll follow through, but like we've definitely had a handful of people in the past that have been like, "Yep, I'll come on," and then you email them or whatever, and then you just don't hear back.
Yeah, definitely. That's the going rule from now on. No one gets mentioned until they're actually on the show.
Right.
But
well, I've been getting these motivations in the morning where I'll just start going through Twitter and looking for people to DM. So like I think I did like 4 or 5 this morning.
Also, if you're listening and you have a cool following or whatever, and you want to be on the show, hit us up.
Let us know. Yeah, I'll be excited when we start getting people that are like, "Hey, so and so would like to be on your show." Okay, cool. We'll see if we can fit them in.
Dude, I'll talk to anybody pretty much. So, I mean,
I agree.
Well, Jems, it was a great episode 35. You didn't have a single glitch.
Nice.
So, I think we're solid.
I think the cat grabbed my hand at one point and I made a face, but I think that other than that,
it's all good.
I do end up making a lot of faces with my eyes because my eyes end up hurting by the end of it. I really need blue light glasses for this.
I do too. Glassy, if you want to sponsor blue light glasses for me and Jems, feel free. They have the best.
The company you used to, the
no, they're like a skateboard. They started as a skateboard company, but they make really great stuff. So definitely, I'm ordering a pair soon anyway. So if I see a buy one get one, I'll order one for you as well, and then I'll just send it to you.
Nice. I should be getting our off the rail stickers I ordered for $1 off a sticker mule soon.
Let's go. So we might have cool stickers soon. I just got a new laptop. Maybe I'll put one on.
Nice. I just got a new computer.
Try it. Hell yeah. Well, Jems, anything you want to tell the people before we dip out?
Nope. Listen,
Okay.
rate, subscribe, review, follow us.
Tell 2 people.
We made some sweet shirts.
Oh yeah, we did make
Buy
some
these
sweet shirts.
shirts. Like we advertised the Joe Burrow one, the Joe Cool one. I think it's
Yeah.
the other way. It's Cool Joe. We have a Goat Tom Brady one. We had a Stafford one, and it still shows that the order was received. So I don't know if you're actually going to get that sweatshirt or
I
not.
don't know. I hope so. I will wear it proudly.
So
But it'll be super fun. We're gonna make more shirts, and if you want to find those, I think I'm gonna update our link tree, and it'll be in our Twitter bio, which our Twitter is _pod. So follow us there.
Yep.
And then that's it.
Yep, that's it.
Alrighty.
I go to bed.
We will see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Later.
Welcome off to the web.